One that you like is educational challenges. So a new one is the struggle to pay for education, right?
Ooh, yeah.
So how much is your tuition fee?
9,250 a year, but I believe the interest rate, I'm not exactly sure, but the people enrolling into uni now, it's very high. I'm not sure the exact stats. Are you leaning behind the camera? Or what are the exact stats, bro?
Yeah.
But I was paying $3,000 a year anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I'm surrounded with people at uni who are actually like paying their tuition fee while studying as well.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So they're coming into uni like starving.
Yeah.
Seriously, they don't want to spend anything.
But I think that's changing because they're not going. Oh no, that's only for the new year, right? Yeah, because I think they're changing it so that once you're earning $25,000 and above, that's when you start paying it.
I think it's 27,000 now.
Is it 27? Man,
They keep the interest rate so hidden though. Like they don't really like speaking about it.
guys, honestly, if you're enrolling to uni now, you might as well take out a bank loan. Like, the bank loan is going to be like 4% anyway. It's still cheaper. Don't take my financial advice.
I was going to ask now, should I take a bank loan to pay my uni fees?
The only thing with the uni fee is that you can pay it back once you start earning. That's the benefit of it. This is my shout out to anyone who's studying tech. It's pointless. I'm not even gonna lie, Julian. Like studying media, pointless, bro.
It's pointless.
It's pointless. You
Yeah,
might as
it's
well.
pointless.
Because if you invested 9k into yourself in a year,
Bro,
Bro.
I could have had way better gear than this.
No, bro. I'm saying education-wise, you invested so much in like Adobe, right? Anyone who's trying to become like an engineer, like developing shit, just study a course yourself. Become so good at it.
A short course. You can literally do a short course.
Bro, it'll cost like the most you'll spend is like $3,000 over 2 years. $3,000, and you'll do an exam to get a job, and you'll pass that exam quicker than anyone who's graduating. Like, what's the point wasting time?
LinkedIn offers you exams on the spot when you make your CV.
What?
So you can have it on your CV, like you passed this certain exam given by LinkedIn.
Exactly.
And Indeed as well, they do the same thing.
You know what? You know the thing that annoys me the most is people go to university because they're like, oh, I want that university experience. Bro, there is no university experience. It's the same shit that when I was paying $3,000 to when you're paying $9,000, and then when you're gonna come out, you're gonna have the same paying job as when I came out, but your debt is gonna be massive. What's the point?
when they say uni experience, isn't it like the parties and like the having fun with friends and stuff?
Whatever it is.
But you're paying 9k a year for that.
So what I say is universities should actually reinvest in themselves and actually give a curated university experience.
My university experience is traveling an hour to uni, and then going to the library, studying, and then taking an hour back home.
Yeah, but I feel like universities can do so much more to engage their students.
Yeah.
Like they're like, oh, the university societies exist. Yeah, but you were charging when university was free. The society exists. Now you're charging flipping $9,000, and it's probably going to go up by the time this video comes out to whatever grand, and nothing's changed for the students. It's a joke. Even the prospects haven't changed. It's the same jobs that people are still going into, and they don't need a degree to do them, unless you're studying medicine, of course, or like law, or whatever it is. But for a lot of these tech jobs, you don't need that degree. I don't agree with it. All right, a couple of other challenges. So education, there's the struggle to pay for education. There's social pressures in school. How was the social pressures for you at school? Did you see any social pressures? Do you feel like with because you grew up with social media far more than I did. Do you feel like that?
It was slightly. I'd say I was blessed with social media, as in.
High school is from year 7 to year 11,
Yeah.
and then sixth form's year 12 to year 13.
Yeah.
I got access to social media when I was in year 9.
Okay.
So I was right in the middle, and that was back when it was just memes,
Yeah.
right?
That's
All
right.
you'd see is just memes or the Facebook skits.
Yeah.
That's all there was.
There was memes and anime back then.
I'd say in year 9, year 10, it was very, very like, you weren't that addicted to social media. It was really hard to be addicted.
Yeah.
But there were some people who, even from then, were like, they were really worried about how many likes they get.
Yeah, that's
It started from then, and that was in like 2016. There were social pressures, but it was more like in person. So you're like the popular person.
Yeah.
Everyone's sitting with you at lunch, or when you're in PE, physical activities, you get picked last. You're not the best.
But that's standard stuff.
That's all there was to it.
One thing I noticed is because in our house, like, we grew up with like anime shows and stuff like that, right? Like Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, a bit of Naruto, Shaman King, big up Shaman King. We grew up with these things, right? But then when I used to go to school, nobody knew about it. It would be like me and maybe 2 or 3 other guys.
Yeah.
But then when you went into school, it was like everyone knew about it.
Yeah, majority of the people knew about it. Mainly people watched like football and stuff, same as you, to be honest. Like everyone was addicted to
Guys, whoever watches football, like, fair enough, yeah. But how do you spend that much time every like twice a week watching it? It's so much.
A game is 90 minutes, including the half time, the extra time. That's like 110 minutes. And then you have people who like watch press conferences as well. People watch 2 games a week. I don't know how you guys do it, man.
So much time.
Seriously, it's so much time wasted. I mean, I'd watch the highlights.
Yeah, bro, watching highlights is calm. Like, watching boxing matches or MMA is calm because it's a couple of minutes, it's a couple of rounds, high excitement, it peaks. But with football, you could be watching a whole game, nothing happens.
Yeah.
Like, at least in MMA or boxing, you know if someone's getting punched up. The likelihood of something happening is really high, Madness. All right, a couple of other ones. Okay, parenting challenges.
Wait, actually, before that, there really was no social pressures, mainly because our school kept it single uniform as well. I feel like you get loads of pressures when you have to dress a certain way or bring your own clothes to like the table and stuff. But for us, because even in sixth form, you just had to dress very smartly with a suit.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
No one had a lot of money to buy loads of suits.
Yeah, exactly.
So you just wear the same suit for like 2 years. That was it. There was actually no social pressures. Maybe at most is getting a fade with a haircut. That came late. That actually came later on.
Yeah.
And like not wearing AstroTurf shoes on a school mufti day. That's it.
That's right. All right. So an interesting one that I'm thinking of is parenting challenges. So, like with kids growing up nowadays, like imagine the parents of today, or even the parents of generations before us, and they're having children. But how are they going to manage children that are born into this type of world, right? You either keep them away from it, like from social media, you don't give them a phone, you like introduce them to different things, or you give them that and then you just deal with whatever comes. Like, do you try and teach like restraint, or do you try and teach like delayed gratification and things like that? Like how do you navigate? Like, I think parents have. I'm glad that I'm not a parent yet, so I can learn from the parents that are doing it now.
They actually have
It's
the
mad.
hardest job because with the way social media is working as well, the children are maturing so quickly.
Exactly.
So you have like 11-year-olds, 12-year-olds who are like back when we were like 16, like same maturity levels because they're exposed
Exactly.
to that much.
Oh, it's
So
mad.
I'd probably go for the first option, man.
What do you mean?
I actually delay it to the point where they need a phone.
Exactly.
because
Yeah.
I really don't want them, like especially at night or throughout the day,
Yeah.
they're just glued to a screen,
Yeah.
getting their
Oh.
dopamine receptors.
You won't believe this. We went to someone's house and there were 3 kids, right? So there was one who was like, how old was the oldest one?
He was in year 11, so he was like 15,
So there was one 15-year-old, there was one like
12.
12-year-old, and then there was this little like 6.
9-year-old.
It was like 6 or 7. No, it was like 6 or 7.
He was in year 3.
He was
no?
tiny.
No, okay.
He was tiny. He was a little kid, and the little kid, I swear to God, he never left the phone. He did not leave the phone. Like, he was like watching TikToks for 2 hours, and then he'll come, and then he was playing like Roblox or something, and he was completely glued on it. And then he was trying to make me play games on it, and I was destroying him in the game, and they would get pissed off as well. It's like, what's going on? But that's crazy. But they gave him the phone because that was the only way to keep him quiet, right?
That's wrong, man. Even on the train, I'm sitting down there. I see, like, I'm not judging them, but I'm seeing these parents. They just whip out iPads. Boom, boom, boom to the kids. And then they're all silent, just glued.
I'm so happy.
I don't want to hear that shit on the train.
I mean, I'm happy as well, but...
I don't care about some.
Kid, bro, give them the iPad, bro. No.
That's messed up, man.
Nah, because I was on the train once, and there were these two kids without an iPad. And I swear to God, like, I don't know what kind of sugar their mothers gave them, but they just did not stop. And it was like, well, you know, one of those days where you need to nap on the train. Like, it was one of those days, and I needed that power nap, and these kids did not stop, man. It made me emotional.
I feel like the iPads are like the new gen pacifiers, man.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. Oh, this is an interesting one. Social inequality. So this is challenges regarding racism, sexism, ageism, classism, and many more. So I think social inequality has become a massive theme now. Like for the past 10 years, it's become more prevalent.
I mean, I'm in a bubble, so because I've just been at home during COVID and I only really go to university, I haven't really experienced it that much. But how have you seen it?
So I've seen reverse ageism. I've seen a bit of reverse ageism.
So when you call people boomers.
No, it's usually the young people calling the old people something. But reverse way that I've seen is older people shagging younger people to keep, to protect themselves.
Only scenario I can think of that is like my friends were telling me when they were at the hospital, they'd get like these nurses and stuff destroying them, absolutely destroying them. Oh, you don't know this? How can you not know that when you're a medical student?
Oh wow!
What's going on? Are you even studying? Like actually pressuring them.
Oh, they've had a bad day, innit? They've had a bad day.
That's the only thing I can think of.
So I've had one scenario where I know that there's a much older person shagging me off about something that I've done, saying that, oh, this guy, I was teaching him more than he was actually doing the work here. We were talking about this.
Yeah.
But that isn't true. I've done so much in that space. So I think that threw me off because I've never seen someone use ageism in such a defensive way. For me, I'm bro, it's not that deep. If you want to shag me, it's fine. Because everyone knows what I can do, right? But I've never seen that actually play out in real life. So I think another challenge that people face is social inequality. So topics like racism, sexism, ageism. I think the topic of racism has become massive lately because more people are willing to talk about it. More people have a platform to talk about it. So if someone is faced with any type of racism, they can go to TikTok, Instagram, they can go to a news channel or whatever, and they can talk about what they've been faced with. And I think racism now has become, it's become blurred between actual racism where people are discriminating against a race, and then on the counter side where people are trying to make a decision based on actual diversity of thought, right? So this is a debate that I've had quite a lot. So companies now have quotas, right, to hire a certain race from each whatever background. But what I was saying is, I think it's more interesting to measure it based on diversity of thought. So how many people have gone from a private school or public school? How many people didn't even go to school or don't have a degree? How many people have had a South Asian background, African background, whatever? Create a bubble of diversity in the way people think. And if you measure it like that, you'll actually benefit from diversity. And racism wouldn't exist then because it's you're actually able to meld the way people think.
I feel like they profit off racism as well, as then it gets more views and stuff. And similarly to what you said, I feel like they do the exact opposite, where they get many people from different backgrounds, different colors, different races, but they make them all say the same thing.
Yeah.
Even university as well, they don't really have the mindset that we want different people from different races because of their different ways of thoughts.
Yeah.
Rather, they're just trying to accumulate different colors and races just for their benefit.
Yeah. And I find it's a bit weird because, let's say, for example, let's say for example you need to hire a couple of Asian brothers, yeah. Like a company can go out and hire, like say they need to fill a quota of 10. They can hire 10 students who have really good social upbringing. Like they come from wealthy families, they've gone to private schools, they've got high degrees and like top schools and stuff like that. But where's the diversity in thought there? Where's the diversity in social class? It doesn't exist. So I think racism is being approached. Like it's a great thing that it's being approached, but I think there's still a lot more thought to be done in that space. All right. So another challenge that people face, well, another thing that has creeped into the younger generation is climate change anxiety. It's one that I didn't know about until literally 2 days ago, but it's where people are concerned about, they're anxious about the climate and it's affecting their lives. So you're laughing, but people aren't having children because of the climate. Like they're like, why would I want to bring a child into this world when this world is going to shit? Like it's a real thing. So I didn't know this was a thing because I thought like having a climate challenge is exciting because it's challenging. You know, I find challenges exciting, but people are actually taking it the opposite way and getting anxious from it. So I think, so my point of view of climate change from my own Islamic perspective is there's two ways to look at it, right? And I'm not a scholar, so you get me. Yeah. But there is one thing that says everything is written, which is fine. Like you have to accept everything that's written. But if there's a climate challenge, it's kind of on you to work on ways to find a better way to resolve it.
I mean, it is written based on your actions and intentions.
Exactly. Yeah. So you need to actually.
So you can't just be like.
Yeah, you can't just slouch. You're not like, it's like saying if there's a fire in the house, you're not gonna be like, oh, this is written, brother. No, you're not. You're not gonna. It doesn't make sense. Yeah. You're gonna try and find a way. You're either gonna jump out. You can't go to Mars, so you can't jump out the planet. But you're gonna try and do something. So I think people need to, especially from an Islamic point of view, I think a lot of people are just content doing what Islam says, right? They're like, oh, I'm doing prayers, I'm doing zakat, and yeah, I'm content. But then there's a moral obligation for you to do things as well. Like we're not just here to be like, oh, the planet, yeah, man, let me just start, drinking from plastic straws. Like, if there's a paper straw, just drink it from the paper straw. It's not that deep. Nothing's that deep. So that's my view from an Islamic point of view. What do you think?
It's written, man. I'm joking.
He's the type of guy, the house is burning, and he's sending me a message on WhatsApp.
At least I came out alive.
In terms of climate change and... What was it called?
Oh, climate. Yeah, it's climate change anxiety. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Climate change anxiety. You can only do so much. I stay true to recycling my water plastic bottles.
But you know the actual biggest change is if every person made small changes, that's where the biggest impact is, because it's a collective change.
Yeah, I mean, I take public transport because I don't like to, increase emissions into the atmosphere. Yeah.
Right, it's because he doesn't want to pay congestion charge, and he doesn't have a car. He doesn't have insurance.
No, but I saw it on the news that like Drake or something, he had a 15-minute flight, and the amount of emissions that came out of his private jet is equal to someone who were to like drive normally for like 10 years or something in a car.
Wow.
So it's like
but then it's time versus the planet.
Yeah,
I know it's weird, right? But so that's my view. I think a lot of people don't like to take challenges upon themselves, but my challenge to you is if you believe climate change is happening, why don't you do something about it? The same way that there's loads of Muslims that are doing, and I'm really proud of all Muslims that are doing this, all the Muslims that are standing up for Palestine, that are standing up for, was it Sudan that's gone to war recently, all the Muslims that have started all these initiatives for Afghanistan, building wells, building schools. In the same sense, we can also do things like, as a Muslim community, to come together and learn about like recycling. It could be something small like that, just to get the awareness out there. It's the same responsibility, same accountability. It's not just for the people, but it's also for the environment that we're in. So that's my challenge to you guys. Let me know what you think. So the thing that I respect about climate change activists right now is that for us, like we're in England, right? The climate is chilling. Like, what's really the worst thing that happens here? In the summer, it gets hot for 2 weeks and we start crying about it.
Those pipe ban, man.
The hosepipe ban, oh my god, oof. But the climate change that really matters is around the equator line. That's where climate change actually hits the most. And you know all these forest fires that are happening, all the droughts that are happening, like millions of people are being displaced because of the droughts. That's where climate change needs to slow down. Because it's not that there's the argument that we can't stop climate change, right? It's inevitable. It's the cycle of the planet. Fair. But what we can do is we can slow down climate change so that the people that are getting affected, we can at least help them a bit sooner. There's so many people like they have to move homes, they have to travel like hundreds of miles away just to be able to get be able to live in a more like sustainable place. And that's what we can't do right now. It's happening too fast for us to react. So I think from a climate change point of view, that's one area that we should be looking into. So the last one we're going to talk about challenges that people face, and I don't think people realize this, and more people need to be more conscious of it, is digital wellness. So on social media, when you're browsing through social media, you see all these influencers living their best life. You see the never-ending reels of people in Bali, people in Maldives, people in all these beautiful locations, but you don't see the things, you don't see the day-to-days. You don't see what their life is really like. Not everyone can be happy all the time. It's impossible.
I feel like if you only got your resources from social media, you think all marriages are perfect as well.
Yeah,
you always see couples so happy, going on holiday, surprising each other, all this stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't happen, man.
It's like brainwashing, no?
You know what people forget? Like, in order for you to have happy times, you need to have the exact opposite. You get me? It's like, people forget that. In order to have a bit of darkness, you need some light. In order to have some light, you need to have some darkness.
It's like a roller coaster, man. If you're gonna go up, you're gonna have to
You
go
have
down.
to come down, and then you use that momentum to go back up again.
Exactly.
That's the way it happens. So I think digital wellness is definitely a big thing, and I think it links back to everything we spoke about. So it links back into the mental health, because you're constantly consuming technology. You have that screen time.
I'd say it's like a coping mechanism as well for the creators, the content creators, because there's always a reason for whatever like content you post, right?
Yeah.
And if you're posting these like happy lovey-dovey stuff,
Yeah.
it's because you want people to like think that you're constantly happy lovey-dovey.
But the counter to that is, why would you want to share when you're sad? Because when people are sad, they don't want to share that sadness, right?
Because they're vulnerable.
And also on social media, it's like the trend since like the beginning is always posting like what is like valuable, what other people don't have, flexing on others, showing that you're happier than others.
But I feel like, when you're sad. Okay, let me start with when you're happy. When you're happy, the tendency is you want to share the happiness.
Yeah.
Like, happiness is an abundance thing. So when you're happy, you share. Like, you're smiling, it's infectious. And when you're sad, you don't want to share it, you just endure it. So I think the emotion itself isn't something that you naturally feel like you want to share.
And what's even worse is when someone's very sad and they want to be isolated, and then they go on social media. All they see is just the happy stuff, man.
Yeah. Oh,
It's like
it's a tough one, yeah.
it's like a little fire. And just constant water. And now it's the opposite, no? I don't know, man. You just get messed up.
Have you guys experienced this yourself?
Yeah, all the time. Everyone who's used social media will always experience it. When you're feeling low and then you just see some guy living his best life.
I think one of the things that social media teaches you, so like we've all been through emotions, right? I've had anxiety, I've had borderline depression, I've had many things. And when you use social media, you realize that you always see the furthest end of the spectrum. So like, say I'm feeling unhappy, or I'm feeling like lonely, or whatever it is. And when you're on social media, you see the exact furthest truth to where you are. So you'll see loads of people having fun. And because you're searching for that, you'll pick up on that more. And it's weird. It's like that relationship where you're looking for something, you find it. But then when the stuff that you need is never there. Like, say if you're feeling lonely, why would you go on social media? It's the least social thing to do.
Ooh, irony, man.
Man, that's crazy.
That's a clip.
That's a clip, right? And then there's things like so one thing that I really enjoy is like on places like Discord, anonymity is a massive thing, right? Like nobody really shares who they are.
Can you explain to the people that don't know what Discord is?
Discord is like it's like imagine WhatsApp, but everyone's anonymous. Or you can share your name; it doesn't really matter. But it's like a WhatsApp group chat, and there's like different servers, and each server has its own channels, and you can just engage with the community like that. So on Discord, you see a lot of people that hide their identity or don't share what their identity is, and maybe that's their way of like maintaining their sanity, right? Like that's their challenge. They don't want to share that.
It's like escaping reality as well, because they can be wherever they want.
Yeah. Have you ever faked who you are in any situation?
100%. I mean, on Discord you get exposed to like different kinds of people where it's very different, because there's always that like filter that you have to have on Discord, whereas on like WhatsApp, if you're in like a group chat, everyone already has access to your number.
Yeah.
I mean, most people share the profile pictures anyways.
Yeah.
But on Discord, it's like very anonymous. And that's where you get like the most weirdos as well, man.
Yeah.
You just have creeps there. Definitely don't recommend it unless you play games.
But even if you play games, like one thing I realized is, so from the gaming Discords that I'm in, if people are anonymous, you see their real colors. Like I've been in so many gaming Discord chats where, I'm not going to generalize, but there's a certain group of people, once they start drinking, the stuff that they say after they drink is abysmal. You would not ever want to meet these people in real life. It's actually abysmal. But they're protected by this anonymity. And I'm like, oh, should they be protected by this anonymity? I was actually thinking we should actually have like the blockchain social media where everyone's ID is there.
Bro, that
can't
would
hide.
actually be the best.
If we like have to show like passport information and stuff and make a one fixed account on social media,
Everything will be sorted.
Everything will
There'll
be
be no
way better.
keyboard warriors.
That's what Facebook's trying to do. Because they're connecting Instagram and WhatsApp. They're connecting everything in one.
What? No way.
That's actually
I
smart.
mean, since
All right. Well, on that note, it's been fun. Let us know what type of challenges that you face. And again, just remember that every single person, no matter how happy they look, no matter what type of perfect life they have, everyone goes through challenges, and there is no such thing as a fairy tale. Otherwise, like this wouldn't be called living, right? It would just be called chilling.
everyone's on their own journey, and you shouldn't compare yourself to like other people. In reality, you're just compare yourself to yourself, innit? You're challenging yourself. As long as you can improve yourself like every day by like, even like 1% or 0.1%, just a step forward in the right direction.
Yeah, and the circle of life teaches you as well. You can't, like, the circle of life is you're living and then you're aging and then you're dying. Like, it's not meant to be all happy and jolly and stuff. Like, as you're living, you're going through the different stages of other people's lives as well, so you get to see it. So don't beat yourself up on it. You know, everything is fine. It is what it is. Everything is written, but do what you can, and everything should be fine. Thanks for joining us on ChitChatChai, and we hope to see you again. Take care.
Bye bye.